Let's go out together. I've already drawn out a reason for your stepping down. Master, you can't do this. I'm your only disciple. Elder Yuan shut the door as Ziwu wailed behind him without remorse, leaving him all alone. Master, are you that heartless? Ziwu's eyes shook, and he closed them. He gnashed his teeth and dug his nails into his palms in anger. How the hell is that punk so much better than me that even my own master would forsake me? Letting out a long breath, Ziwu's eyes shone with bloodlust. Meanwhile, Elder Yuan looked calm, but his heart was filled with pain and sorrow. His disciple who used to care so much about the sect just like him was now trapped in a deep whirlpool, offering the old man only disappointment and regret. Zhuo Yifan stood up and bowed. Master. Elder Yuan chuckled, preaching as he did back then with Ziwu. You're about to be sect leader. It's best if you call me High Venerable. In the demon scheming sect, status must be clearly defined in private and public, and not let emotion interfere with it. Zhuo Yifan raised an eyebrow and said, Master is mistaken. Status must be upheld, but now I'm not fulfilling my duty as the sect leader, since I see you as my master, before you as your disciple, and it's only natural for a disciple to show respect to his master. Startled, Elder Yuan gave him a long look then sighed. I see it now. Private is private while public is public. When there was primal chaos, heaven and earth were one, but as the yin and yang separated, so did the two. That means private and public are interchangeable. How foolish of me. Pushing him towards power and not giving him any friendship had made him turn out like this. It's all my fault. Master, what do you mean? Zhuo Yifan was stunned. Elder Yuan chuckled and shook his head. Nothing, I just have one request. Ziwu would come out and maybe he'll step down. For the safety of the sect, he mustn't get involved with more people. While a newly ascended emperor makes bold policies and snuffs out his remaining rivals, the demon scheming sect is small and won't survive such a purge. Zhuo Yifan nodded and laughed as he looked at Qingcheng. Oh, sure, since Master asked, I of course won't deny High Venerable's suggestion. At worst, I'll just be thrown off my seat and will have to just leave. I don't care much for it anyway, ha ha ha. Zhuo Yifan said that he'll consider the demon scheming sect as his home with me here, but in the end he doesn't see it like that, or else he wouldn't disregard being a sect leader so much. Just what can I do to make him see the sect as his home? I have to settle this or the kid will just run off. A door opened and Ziwu came out with a dark face. He still had a foul look when he saw Zhuo Yifan, but he was no longer crazed. Elder Yuan spoke. Well, have you decided? Yeah. Totally unwilling to do this, Ziwu still gave a nod. Letting out a deep breath, Elder Yuan ignored him as he spoke to the couple. You three follow me. It's time we settle this. Elder Yuan was the first to walk ahead. Zhuo Yifan, Qingcheng and Ziwu were right behind him. With a heavy sound, the main hall's doors opened. The crowd outside quickly turned their heads around. The eyes turned to Elder Yuan, waiting for him to explain what had transpired inside. Venerable Bai's side had been tense all this time. Would Steward Zhuo get killed? How were they to carry out the uprising then? Fortune had it that they soon saw Zhuo Yifan and Qingcheng coming out and let out a relieved breath. Knowing their desires, Elder Yuan coughed before shouting, Demon Scheming Sect, listen up. In view of Demon Scheming Sect disciple, Zhuo Yifan exceptional conduct and remarkable achievement at Double Dragon gathering and fighting for our sect's honor, of the glorious when he had gotten by leading the sect's experts and defeating Mystical Heaven sect. After thorough deliberating with the sect leader decided to step down, letting Zhuo Yifan take his place. Please look forward to the ceremony being held tomorrow. What? Everyone went slack-jawed. Venerable Shi and the labor office's oldies were all standing there incredulously at what they heard. High Venerable forced sect leader to step down so Zhuo Yifan would go up. With Ziwu's vile temper, they could guess he would never accept this, unless High Venerable gave him no choice. They all looked at Elder Yuan in shock and puzzlement. They all knew the relationship between High Venerable and sect leader, but no one thought he'd side with Zhuo Yifan still. There was no attempt at crushing the uprising, nor stalling the situation. He helped them instead. This decision was beyond perplexing. Not even Venerable she could make sense of it. Wu! High Venerable looked at Ziwu. Ziwu gnashed his teeth and stepped forward, forced to do this against his will. The sect leader is someone of ability. Zhuo Yifan's merits are unprecedented and I shall step down, offering my last meager help for the sect's bright future. Ziwu said that last part like he was choking. It was utterly humiliating for a proud man like him to say that he was beneath a disciple. Elder Yuan chuckled and turned to the people. Tomorrow, the sect leader's succession ceremony shall take place along with one more happy event. We will hold for our brand new sect leader a grand wedding, to celebrate the union between sect leader and his lady. A wedding? Everyone faltered. The crowd looked at High Venerable in disbelief. Even the lucky couple was stunned at his declaration. The last they heard, demonic cultivators were supposed to be cruel and emotionless. So how did it turn into a public wedding? Marriage was a promise between a man and a woman, one of love. It wasn't the same as a fling. Is this really fine, breaking a thousands of years old rule, even if it is done by the High Venerable and the next sect leader? High Venerable, sect leader stepping down for the good of the sect is an act of virtue, to be remembered through the ages. But for the new sect leader to break sect rules in such a grand fashion the very first day he took seat. Venerable she took it upon himself, as the defender of the demonic path, to be a buzzkill. Zhuo Yifan, you might have won, but don't get too cocky. You can't treat sect rules as nothing. What wedding? You're clearly dishonoring the demon scheming sect. We can turn a blind eye to having a woman, so go have your fun. But now you want to make an issue out of it? This is a blatant disregard to all of us. At this time, Venerable Bai and the rest, having Zhuo Yifan's back, should have stepped in, but even they found this to be a taboo. They were just stuck as to what to say. Giving Venerable Shi a cold look, Elder Yuan said to Zhuo Yifan, "See, these geezers are against your wedding and don't care who's the sect leader. I told you so." You're right. But isn't this a bit too outrageous? This is about breaking a thousands of years old rule just as I take my seat. Look, even Venerable Bai isn't saying anything. We're still demonic cultivators. Don't tell me you don't want to hold a grand wedding with Miss Chu. Turning to Chu Qingcheng, Zhuo Yifan had a bitter smile. I'm a demonic cultivator and know its taboos. While I might be an exception, I still can't break every demonic cultivator. Not quite, Zhuo Yifan. Don't you recall what I told you? The condition for a demonic cultivator to be in love? Of course I do. That is for advanced players, a stage they must overcome. Elder Yuan nodded. Yes, for those pursuing Tao, they can control love. I've always lamented how many in demon scheming sect had become obsessed while very few pursued Tao. Sect's rule is indeed there to protect our way of cultivation. But ever since you came, I discovered that with our constant talks, everyone must have their own path. The 4 scheming demons curbed their thirst for blood. Gihu subdued his savagery. Elder after elder revealed their Tao heart.